Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 video. Today, we will be having another look at a section of the lab area, and this pertains specifically to the ISO-8 and how the ISO-8 is built to work. Now, we touched on this briefly in our video on Wednesday, and we were primarily looking at how the orange ISO-8, or the ISO-8 that is themed around the Mastery Alliance Enhancement and the Mastery section of abilities, was useful in assisting us to take out one of the more difficult rifts on the Lambda difficulty. But today I want to get into the base function of how ISO-8 in and of itself works, with one noteworthy exception that we will be going over in a future episode. Now today for the base function, we will be looking at the function in general of how ISO-8 is built to work. Now, the different colors of the ISO-8 match up and color coordinate with the areas of the Alliance Enhancement, with the exception of two new traits. The purple, of course, applies to the Strength, the red will apply to the Vitality, orange applies to Mastery, yellow applies to resilience, green applies to durability, and blue applies to energy. Now, for demonstrative purposes, today we will be looking at the white ISO, and our next episode, which will be coming to you on Monday, will focus on the capacities of the rainbow ISO. But first off, what is ISO and what does it do? Well, ISO-8 will allow your team members further enhancements or buffs to their attacks depending on the type that you have equipped. Or not always attacks necessarily, as there are some other benefits that you can find from it. Now the white variant in particular tends to have a very common thread, and that is increasing the amount of ISO-8 that you can find, increasing the amount of credits, increasing the amount of orb drops, a lot of utility related things. And there are multiple rarities that are found within each strain of ISO-8. There is the D tier rarity, which is fairly common and generally doesn't boast things too impressive. Now, this is a little bit of the exception here because this specific shard of D tier ISO-8 allows the perk of if your character is above 25% and takes a hit that will deplete them down to 0, they will instead live on with 1 HP. So kind of a focus sash type thing, if you want to make that type of Pokemon reference over to how that is meant to work. But not quite the same. Now, as we continue to move up, we have the C tier ISO-8, which generally boasts better enhancements than the D tier. We then have a similar increase from C tier to B tier, from B tier to A tier, and then from A tier to AA tier. And today we will be showcasing how you upgrade your ISO-8 in terms of making it more useful. Now, we cannot in the white arrangement enhance this specific shard of ISO-8 because it has a very unique property. So instead we're going to focus on a C tier ISO-8 fragment, and I particularly want to focus on one that allows us to increase the amount of HP and EP restore orbs. So let's go ahead and hit the Y button here, as that's going to allow us to select this. And then if we hit the A button, we can then modify it. Now you can modify it up to a couple of different tiers, and that will increase its efficiency marginally as you continue to upgrade it. It requires a couple of resources, but you can see here that the percentage increase from going to C tier 1 plus increases the efficiency from 8% to 8.3%. And as we bump that up, it's going to require additional units and additional dust of the type of ISO that we're working with. And you can increase that up to 5, or up to a +5 within its tier. So as we watch this text scroll back across, we will notice that it now increases from an 8% chance to restore health and EP orbs to 9.5, which, I mean, it's nothing super great, but it is something better than what you would normally have when it comes to replenishing health and energy. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's modify it, and we do need to sacrifice our one piece of the C tier, the D tier ISO. Honestly, I don't see myself ever using this one in particular. I'm sure it has its uses, and I'm positive that we're meant to find more of it as we continue progressing through the game. So let's just do it. Let's select this one and hit that modify button, increasing the efficiency of this ISO-8 up to C tier +5. But we can do more from there as we can continue moving, as we can upgrade this from the C tier to the B tier. And the way that we'll need to do that is we will need to, in this case, select a few extra of the same class or the same tier. So let's go ahead and grab these two here, as they boast the same benefit that we are already getting from this one, and hit that upgrade button. Now, as it buffs from C tier to B tier, there is a slight increase, and of course it's going to cost us a little bit more of the dust of the rarity of ISO-8. But let's do it. We've come this far, we've got credits to burn, so let's keep pushing forward. So we now have a brand new piece of B tier white ISO-8. But we can take it further than that, because we can take it from the B tier to the B tier +5. So let's see what that requires. And as we take it up to B tier +5, it's going to require 3 additional pieces of the C tier ISO-8, but as a trade-off, it will increase the efficiency from the 9.8% chance to restore orbs that it's currently at to 11.3%. So another generally marginal increase. And you get the general idea. We hit modify, we're going to have to pick some more of these bits, so we'll select 2 of them that are already doing something similar to what we're already familiar with. Yeah, let's throw one of the credit ones in there because we can. Why not? And that takes us to B tier ISO-8 +5. Let's rinse and repeat this process, taking it up to tier A by selecting 2 of the B tier sections. Let's dump this credit one in, as well as this HP restore. And that's going to do it, increasing us to an A tier and upping the chance of these restoring orbs to drop from 11.3% to 11.6. So a very, very slim increase at this stage. But let's hit it. We now have ourselves a nice shiny new piece of A tier ISO-8, and as you suspected, we can take this one further as well by upgrading it from A tier standard to A tier +5. This is going to cost us 3 additional B tier ISO-8, but comes with the benefit of increasing the EP and HP orb drops from 11.6% to 13.1%. So let's do it. We've already come this far, and there's only so much more that we have left. So yeah, let's throw these ones in there. And it's getting a little bit hefty on some of the costs that were associated with it, but when you're this far into the game, you've got cash to burn, so why not do it? That gets us to A tier +5, and as you suspected, we can take this up to AA tier as well. So let's move forward with that. Here's 2 of the HP restoring ones, so let's throw those in, and that will increase it from 13.1 to 13.4. Again, we've seen this common thread of a 0.3% increase to the overall efficiency. And once we have it at the AA tier, we can make the final enhancement to this piece of ISO-8 by taking it up to ISO-8 AA with a +5 modifier. Now, this is the most expensive of the advancements because it requires 6 of the A class ISO-8, but it will increase the efficiency from the 13.4 to almost 15%, which is a pretty good increase when we compare it to the original 8% that we had. It's not quite double, but it comes a very long way. And keep in mind that this is a very general scope of how it's meant to work. You're going to experience that this has a fairly similar mechanic with the different types of ISO-8 that we can upgrade. And it's a common thread between the different rarities and the different types that there are. So let's hit that upgrade button, getting us to a fully upgraded version of the white ISO-8, and we cannot modify this any further. Now, do keep in mind that there are some rarities of the ISO-8 that cannot be deconstructed, broken down, and I believe you can't even use it to combine into something else. But the ones that you cannot break down come with some very, very nice enhancements and advancements to your team, such as this one, which allows you to regenerate 1.3% health every 20 seconds for each team member that you have incapacitated. Come to think of it, I kind of wish that I would have had this one equipped while I was taking on the Dr. Doom boss raids, because those were abysmal. Which I did live on Twitch TV, or twitch.tv. If you're not following me over there, the link to my Twitch channel is in the description down below. Go ahead and check me out on that platform, as I stream a couple of times a week. But that is the general overview of the different types of ISO-8, and as promised, we will be back on Monday with a look at the rainbow rarity, because this one is very, very interesting in terms of what it can do. But I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to comment what you like about ISO-8, your favorite types and advancements that you see, and if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe, as that subscription is free, easy, and I bring content to you on a daily basis. We'll see you tomorrow with another Minecraft video, and on Monday with the next episode or video on Ultimate Alliance 3. Thanks for watching, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.